Hey girlfriends, are you guys ready for a ColourPop haul? I have quite a lot of products here. Let me see if I can show you. So I placed an order, a massive order, for a bunch of mystery packs. They had on their website for a limited time, you could get 3 of their 9-pan palettes for $15 as a mystery bundle. And I wanted a ton of palettes to sort of kind of restart my makeup collection since I just started recently getting back into makeup. These aren't perfect palettes. I think these are their like seconds palettes, which is fine with me. I don't give a shit. You can kind of tell because there was some like black something over a lot of the boxes, and some of the boxes are kind of faded. Some of the palettes are missing boxes. So like, for example, even just with this one, you can see how the color is faded at the top there. That's not by design. And I know that because they sent me this one as well. And you can see that that's not like that. So I think that these are just their like seconds. And here's that like black stuff that was on all the palettes. I don't know, it was like on like a good stack of them. I was able to get most of it off with alcohol and I just kind of rubbed it off. But let me show you guys all the palettes that I got in my giant palette mystery order. I don't think it's on the website anymore. I think it was just a limited time thing and I've had this box for a little while now. So yeah, let me show you guys what I got. So because I have so many and I don't want this video to be freaking 8,000 years long, I'm not going to be swatching these. First of all, I am going to be taking them out of the boxes, but I am going to just do kind of like a quick, since I'm already 3 minutes into this video just from me yapping. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the front of the palette or the box of the palette, and then I'm going to show you the palette open and tell you the name. And if you guys are interested in the palettes, definitely pause to see what the titles are, and I will link as many of these as I can in my TikTok shop showcase because ColourPop is on the TikTok shop. So you can use TikTok coupons to buy these through TikTok shop, which is great because I've been receiving a ton of coupons from TikTok shop recently, and it would be a great way to buy some of these if you guys are interested. So I'll put as many of these as I can in the showcase for you guys. So first we have Gone Metal. This was one that I really wanted. These are the Gone Metal colors. Next we have On Cloud Blue. Here's the colors for On Cloud Blue. Next we have Of Quartz, and I really wanted this palette, so I'm glad I got it. Here are the colors for Of Quartz. Next we have Lilac You a Lot. Here are the colors for Lilac You a Lot. This was another palette that I was really hoping to get. Next we have Making Mauves. Here are the colors for Making Mauves. This one got a little banged up in transit. This color was kind of coming out of the pan, so I pushed that back in. Here is Lil Ray of Sunshine. I don't believe that this one is available anymore. Here are the colors for Lil Ray of Sunshine. Next, we have Blowin' Smoke, which was one of my wish list palettes. Most of the palettes come packaged with a little foam insert to hold the shadows in. Here are the colors for Blowin' Smoke. Next, we have Uh-Huh Honey. Here are the colors for Uh-Huh Honey. Next, we have All Amethyst. Here are the colors for All Amethyst. Here we have Sweet Vibes. This is Sweet Vibes. This next one is called So Fly. Here is the palette for So Fly. Next palette is Just My Luck. I will say it is kind of annoying they don't have the colors on the back of these because I know for a fact as a graphic designer that this box with the foiling costs a lot of money to print. So if they're printing green, I guess if it's a PMS color, then it would just be considered a single color print, but you would think that they would just pay for a 4-color print. This is Just My Luck, and you can see this color here came damaged. I had to push it back into the pan. If that ever happens to you, you can just spray it with rubbing alcohol until it's saturated, and then you can kind of push it back into the pan, and then you just let it sit out and dry, and you're good to go. This next palette is called Mint to Be, and again, you can see that like dirt that was everywhere. This is Mint to Be. This is palette Vibe Check. And you can see here it says ColourPop for Target. So these are definitely like seconds or like things that they had extra or what have you. This is the palette Vibe Check. This is the palette Daydreaming. Daydreaming. This is Weekend Mood. This one is Weekend Mood. Next up we have Blush Baby. Blush Baby. Next up we have Rock On. Rock On. Next up we have That's Taupe. That's Taupe. Now this one is really funny. This one is In a Daze. And I had purchased this one at TJ Maxx or Marshall's a while back. So I'll just show you the one I already have. This is In a Daze. If you know anything about me, you'll know immediately why I picked up this palette. Next up we have It's My Pleasure. So they sent me 2 It's My Pleasure palettes, and one came smashed up. One of the shadows fell completely out of the pan. So I pressed it back in as much as I could, but this is It's My Pleasure. Next up we have Feelin' Bubbly. Here's Feelin' Bubbly. Here's By the Rosé. This is By the Rosé. Next up we have The Mandalorian. This one got a little banged up. I got C-3PO out of the Star Wars series. Here's C-3PO. I got a Frozen 2 palette. Here's Elsa. And this one came with a chunk missing out of one of the colors. This one here, you can see. So these are definitely not their like A-game palettes. Next up, I got palette Lucky Penny. Here is Lucky Penny. Next up is palette Fine Feathered. Here is Fine Feathered. Next up, we have palette Orange You Glad. Here's palette Orange You Glad. Next up, Petals on Point. Here's palette Petals on Point. Next up, we have palette Nude Mood. Here's palette Nude Mood. Next up, we have Blush Crush. Here's palette Blush Crush. Next up, we have palette Miss Bliss. Here's palette Miss Bliss. Next up, we have palette So Elemental. Here's palette So Elemental. Next up, we have palette Cherry Crush. Here's palette Cherry Crush. And then lastly, we have palette Blue Moon. And here is palette Blue Moon. So like I said, I'm going to put as many of these as possible in my TikTok shop showcase. If you guys are interested in any of them, they'll be there. And you can use any TikTok shop coupons. There's a lot all the time. But yeah, I got these so I can start doing some like simple, easy, all-inclusive looks. That way you guys only need to buy one $14 palette for a whole look. And I thought that that would be, I don't know, hopefully good for you guys. So let me know if there's any palettes that you guys like the most, anything that you'd like to see first, and I'll start with one of those. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!